Right, so you know how we build with blocks? Today I'm gonna not build with blocks, because I'm only gonna be using blocks that are not full blocks. So that's stairs, slabs, fences. So I think the main thing I have that I can use to my advantage is wall blocks, because it can actually be a wall, there's no gaps, which means this is the best block to use for a wall. The only problem with this is that if I go like this, I can't then have a pillar in the corners, because the pillar would be made of full blocks, and there's no real way to do it without full blocks. However, I might have an alternative. So I tried executing my alternative, which was a pillar-esque thing, which was made out of stairs. So I think that's kind of what we've got to do for the corners there. I want to figure out what wall blocks do I want to be using. So I've come up with a wall design, so it gets lighter as we go up. Then we've got these birch stairs, which we're going to use as like the corners. And I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with the roof. I'm thinking granite. Also, slabs are definitely going to be the best block for a roof. And this wall probably won't make it to the house. It's just I'm trying to figure out the wall design before I start laying the shape. Now, I don't think that granite actually works. So instead, I'm going to try dark oak. Nah, I think dark oak slabs are too dark. As you can see, I went through many different types of blocks before I settled on a slab that I thought looked nice. And that's because you've got to make a bunch of bad decisions before you have the knowledge to make a good decision. And even if you just make a bunch of bad decisions, one of those bad decisions might actually be a good decision. Online, you see a bunch of people building a really good thing for the first time, but it just seems like the first time. There's probably multiple variations they went through while originally designing it, which is not always shown. I'm thinking maybe some crimson and mangrove, because that adds a nice bit of color. I'm going to plot the wall design, which might be a bit difficult. Or at least it's going to require more thinking, I should say. Right, so I've got the general shape, and I think this is probably best to be our entrance. We have a walkway in, and then we have this main round sort of area. So now I think I'm going to build up the pillars. Then the pillars were in place, so I placed in the walls. So this is the shape. It looks alright. My only problem is that the pillars are darker than the walls themselves. So I've swapped it out for smooth sandstone stairs, and it might work if I add in the end stone. How does that look? I like it. I think it works. So I'm now going to spread it to all of the walls. So I did that before iterating upon this new design. Right, and that is the walls. It's looking very white at the moment. So I've swapped that stair for spruce stairs, which look like a full block from this side. But if you come over here, you can see that they are truly stairs. I think maybe we try making the entire pillar spruce stairs. So I tried that, and then I tried a bunch of other stair combinations for the pillar, but ultimately I landed up with the same thing at the start, except with birch instead of smooth sandstone. Smooth sandstone. There we go. I quite like it because it adds the contrast, but then it also blends itself into the wall. So then I applied this pillar design to all the other pillars and reworked the shape of the pillars at the front of the house to facilitate a door. I could start on the roof, but I'm gonna procrastinate. I'm instead gonna do the floor. I can use a stair upside down, or I could use the top half of a slab. So really, the floor isn't too difficult. So I did exactly that, but noticed a huge problem midway through. There's this gap here. But if I put it in this gap, you can see it from here. So, I think I already have a solution. We get the color of our pillar here, and we put it underneath. So from the outside, it looks like it's a continuation of our pillar. But then we come inside, it's like highlighting where the wall is. So then I finished figuring out what I wanted the floor to be, and filled the whole thing in. That's our floor, done. Now, I want to do the roof, and I'm thinking we do go with the mangrove, but I'm not sure. But despite that uncertainty, I just started with the roof. And I kept going, and I was using mangrove, and I don't change it from mangrove. So mangrove is the final color of the roof. So I went along and outlined the sort of edge of it. Then I thickened it up because I thought it should go a bit further down. Then I just flattened it because from the interior you get to see a flat roof rather than whatever the weird shape's gonna be. And as you can see, I did the windows for some reason. Then I came back out and just did some random things with the roof because I wasn't sure what I wanted. So I just kind of played about, found something that looked strange, but you know, it looks like a roof. So then I did it. I added some crimson into like the edge
to, I don't know, make it look better. It looks really strange, but
I think it works, but honestly I'm not sure and I don't really want to reverse it at this point. I was about to put in some leaves, foliage, but I can't. Guess I do have access to like azalea bushes. I don't know how I didn't think of that. Right, so I've put these in place. But I don't know what I think of this build. It's so strange. But now I have to worry about the interior. And annoyingly, something I would do with interior is a lot of the time you use some of the functional blocks, like a crafting table, smoker, loom. You can't use them. Scaffolding is a strange block for interior, but it works, I think. You can place the armor stand and then put the scaffolding over it, and I don't know, it looks nice. We come to the middle and we do a dining table. We place trapdoors on top, which means we can't actually use the table. Then we can get some nice seats. Don't you just want to sit in this chair? I can get a pot. I can get the other type of pot. Wah! It's a nice plot. No, that's a full block. I can't do that. That's a full block. It works. It's a weird plant. So I want to put more of these. And I did. So now we've got a bunch of these, and I'm trying to figure out what else I want. A carpet could be nice. Now there's a nice fluffy rug. I want to lay here. I want to crawl here all day. I want to stay on this nice, lovely rug. But I can't, because there's work to be done. So we've got this, but what use is a dining table without a kitchen? Look at that! That looks like a surface ready for cooking.
then I changed the block palette.
And then I want to put sign. I'm thinking like an item frame. Oh yeah, hang on. In the words of Gen Z and Gen Alpha, I'm cooking. I'm cooking! Literally! Now, it looks like there's an oven, and you could open this up and you could go in an oven.
Maybe don't do that.
Fridge. You know what a house needs? Somewhere to sleep. I'll remove this window. So now with this wall back, we add bunk beds. Maybe we remove this bottom bunk. Right, so now there's a little study area. Right, so if we've established that there's 3 people living here, then we can probably get away with shrinking the dining table so that there's more space. As generic as it is, I might just do a stair table, because at least with a stair table I can decorate with stuff on it. This person's having a stew, this person's having a biscuit, and this person's drinking some tea. I don't know. I'm thinking if I don't put anything here, I'd like to put a rug there, which I could actually do now. I mixed the green and the moss carpet because it looks a bit more textured, which is nice. So we've got a rug there, and we don't have a TV here. When you're sitting down, this looks rather lovely. The screen's a bit close. Gonna get square eyes, which my eyes are already square. I guess they're rectangles, but you know. So this looks nice, but the back part here looks empty. And what I like to do with interior is I like to have a very lively interior. I like to use all the space that I can. This is essentially just their storage wall. That looks nice. So now this wall isn't empty. If we look around, so far this is a bit empty. Look at that. That's lovely, isn't it? This area is very empty, but I don't think there's much I can put here. I guess I could maybe have something hanging. Now the fact that there's nothing hanging anywhere else, now everywhere else feels a bit lacking. It's a very unique aesthetic now that I've added all these hanging things, but it's an aesthetic I actually quite like. I'm loving the interior of this build. The exterior, however, not as good. Right, I don't think we want to go to where we over detail. So I think we're done, unless I want to improve the exterior. But if I'm being completely honest, I want to ignore the exterior because it's interesting. It's interesting to say the least. But the inside is very lovely. You come in, there's a nice fluffy rug, there's some shelving, there's a potted plant in like all of the corners. You come here, there's a place where they can cook, there's somewhere where they can sleep, and there's, I don't know, where they keep their one shirt. For 3 people. How they do it? They share the shirt? I don't know, it must be a really big shirt. You can come here, you can make some drinks, you can store stuff. There's a couch here with a TV, however you are sitting awfully close to the TV. That was building without using any full blocks. So I hope you enjoyed, consider subscribing, goodbye.
Hello, I'm back. Welcome to the outro's outro, or whatever this is. Tell me what you think about a little outro after the outro where I just talk. This video I tried using no Nintendo music. You can read a bit more about that in the description if I remember, but bye!